the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Call at 7:15, Krista. Okay. Okay, pledge allegiance, the May 4th, 2021 special meeting. The Board of Education is called to order at 7:15 by me. Introduction of the board candidate, Mr. Flowers, introduce Valerie Nolan.
Okay, so up for re-election for the school board seat this year is Valerie Nolan, and her name does appear on the ballot. Valerie's, I believe, has been on, yes, so she's already been on the board for 5 years, and looking forward to another 5 years of punishment. So Valerie lives in the district and has her husband and then her 2 children attend school here. So that Valerie's name will be appearing on the ballot.
Thank you. Next order of business would be the presentation of the proposed 2021-22 school budget. Excuse me, Mr. Flowers.
Okay, so tonight we're just going to kind of hit the highlights of changes in the 2021-22 budget proposal compared to our current year budget. And one of the biggest things going on is what's known as generically the American Rescue Plan, which is the program that the federal government has put together to help school districts address long-term impact that the pandemic has had on education. And so as part of that American Rescue Plan, Brookfield's grant totals approximately $1.4 million, which is a pretty big sum of money, but this is to be used over multiple years. And right now, we're thinking this is going to be a 3 to 4 year program. So to summarize where we are on this, I got to emphasize this is just very preliminary. We haven't had a lot of time to work on this, and but this is where we're at right now. And Carrie Smith will bring us up to date.
Right. So the funds from the American Rescue Plan, right now we're going to use the funds to enhance our current pre-K through 12 academic intervention program. And some highlights of the program, we'll go forward with creating that 2-week summer program for our students entering pre-K, K, and first grade. We're thinking that it'll take place late July, early August this summer, and it'll provide these students with an opportunity to participate in some fun learning activities, become accustomed to the classroom procedures, and just getting to know their way around the building. And we'll also use this time to provide screening for our students to give our faculty members a better idea of where our students are starting out academic wise. We're also looking to create 2 academic intervention program teaching positions. And teachers in these positions will work with students in pre-K through 6 in a variety of ways to address gaps in learning. That can range from co-teaching with a classroom teacher, small group instruction, or one-on-one instruction. These teachers will also work very closely with our special education team to strengthen our push-in support, and that's where our special education teachers go into the classroom rather than taking our special education students from the general education setting. We're also looking to create a special education teaching position, and this will allow us to continue working toward our goal of strengthening our push-in model of instruction, while at the same time providing targeted support to address learning gaps. We're increasing the amount of days our BOCES related service providers, that would be your speech, occupational therapy, and counseling. We want to increase the time that those folks are in our district, and that will allow for service providers more time with our special education students, but it also give us an opportunity for these related service providers to be in the classroom to provide whole group assistant. So that could look like Mrs. Woodward, our counselor, going in to provide social emotional learning activities to our students, or speech and OT going to work with our pre-K and K students on speech and fine motor skills. We're also increasing math and ELA instruction time from 1 hour to 1.5 hours at the K-6 level. This increase will allow our teachers more time to devote to small group learning and individual learning, and will also provide our academic intervention teachers dedicated time to work with all of our learners. Right now, we're starting the schedule for next year, and each grade level has academic intervention support at least 30 minutes a day. But it's looking like we can bump that up to, in most cases, 45 minutes a day for each class. And last, we're looking to provide increased academic support in all areas at the middle and high school. And that could be increasing the number of math and science lab. We're providing students with additional ELA support and increase the amount of special education push and assistance. And as we begin this program and these elements of the program, as we collect data, especially this will be in-person learning, small group or individual instruction, we're really going to be able to collect data that we need to kind of go to that next phase of the academic intervention program, which would be summer program and an extended day program. But this is just the first step that I've outlined today in getting us to kind of grow the program. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Smith. I forgot to say that if anybody that is watching this on YouTube has any questions, please email me at jplows@brookfieldcsd.org. So my email address is jplows@brookfieldcsd.org. And I'll monitor my email, and any questions come up, we will address them. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, so what I should say is this American Rescue Plan, when we talk about $1.4 million, it's our grant over a period of 3 to 4 years. This money does not go into the general fund budget. This is all accounted for outside of the general fund budget, so it is not in the budget that the voters will be voting on May 18th. But this is going to be such a significant part of our programming here next year that it was important, I thought that, or we thought that we bring this up to the public just to begin making everyone aware of what our plans are. Okay. Moving on, let's talk about the general fund budget and the budgets that's going to be voted on May 18th. First, I want to say that New York State has made it easier to vote by absentee ballot again this year. So in response to the pandemic and everybody still wanting to stay socially distanced and needing in a school building to stay socially distanced, we're really encouraging people to consider voting by absentee ballot. And it's as simple as this: just pick up the phone and call a district office and ask for an absentee ballot application. And because of COVID, and we'll send one right out to you in the mail, and you fill the application out and send it back to us, and then we get you a ballot. So the phone number is 899-3323, and go to extension 264 if you would, please. So 899-3323, extension 264, and ask for an absentee ballot. And if we can do that, then hopefully we won't have long lines and have issues come the day to vote at the voting booth. Okay, moving on. Everyone in the district should have received a budget newsletter last week. It was mailed last week. Maybe you didn't get it till yesterday. But if you didn't receive the budget newsletter, that means you're not on our mailing list. So if you didn't get the newsletter and you want to be on our mailing list, please call the district office, extension 202, and let them know, and we'll get you on our mailing list, and two, we'll mail the newsletter right out to you. Okay. Next. So this general fund budget has an increase of 1.64% in expenses this coming school year. So 1.64% is equivalent of about $116,000. And so here are some of the major changes in the budget. We'll just kind of walk down through it. If you did receive the newsletter, these are the same things that basically were outlined in the newsletter. So the program side of our budget is going up $165,000. The administrative side is going up $40,000, and the capital side is going down $89,000. Here are the major items. So on the program side, we are seeing a significant decrease in the cost of our districts, our students to go out of the district to receive their education, and that's decreasing this coming year approximately $68,000 if they go to BOCES. Unfortunately, if they don't go to BOCES, where we have other out-of-district placements, those costs are going to go up approximately $36,000 next school year. Okay. Also, next school year, we are going to purchase approximately $45,000 in new computers. And that's pretty consistent with what we've been doing over the last few years. As we have gone to one-to-one several years ago, where all of our students have their own computer assigned to them, their own Chromebook. And looking back on it, I'm sure glad, I think we're all glad we did that when we did it, because if this pandemic hit and we were short 100 computers, I don't know how some of these students were made out trying to learn at home. All right. In our STEM program is pretty much on pause this year. Our STEM program, students are working in small groups together on projects, and the social distancing requirements really didn't allow for a lot of that going on. We're hopeful that we're going to be back to a normal school year next year. And so we've got to restart the STEM program. And so we have an additional $14,500 that we believe is going to be needed to spend there to get us back on track again. On the operation and maintenance side, that's the capital side of our budget. We're seeing a decrease in our employees' salaries and wages, approximately $26,000, and that's mainly due to realigning some staffing and some retirements of some long-term employees. We also have budgeted approximately $25,000 to do a complete reseal the school gym floor. As you remember, a few years ago, we put in a new gymnasium floor, and now it's time to actually take it right down to the wood, paint it again, put the lines back on it, and then reseal it. Every year we reseal it, but now it's in need of going right back down to wood. And in addition to that $25,000, we've got some plumbing needs in the locker rooms where we're going to upgrade the plumbing in the locker rooms, girls and boys locker rooms. And so between those two items, we're thinking that's going to be about $25,000. We plan on purchasing a large diesel school bus this coming school year at a cost of approximately $110,000. New York State will end up reimbursing us about $85,000 of that $110,000, but they will reimburse it to us over a period of five and a half years. Okay, and then the biggest change in our budget for this coming school year is our debt payment. This past school year, we entered into long-term financing on our last building project, and we entered into the long-term financing when the market was offering very good rates. And as a result, our debt payments are going to go down this coming school year, $143,000. Okay, So again, if you have any questions, it's email jplows@brookfieldcsd.org. The final thing is, we'll chat about the tax levy for a minute. Last year, given we were right in the beginnings of the pandemic and the economic conditions were very poor, to say the least, the school board decided that we would not have a tax increase at all. So there was no tax increase last year. The danger in doing that is if you don't have a tax increase for a year or two, what we're just setting ourselves up for is a large tax increase down the road. And many years ago, after we had to exceed the tax cap twice, we kind of made the decision that we would prefer, and the community told us they would prefer small tax increases versus having no increase and then a significant or huge tax increase the following year or the year thereafter. So having doing zero last year, right now the best thing to do is to have a small increase, and we're anticipating that's going to be about 3%. So over the 2 years, that would average about 1.5%. Okay. Anything else in my notes? I know that was brief, but this budget's pretty consistent with the current year's budget, except for the items that I mentioned. So the budget vote to review is going to be Tuesday, May 18th from noon to 8 p.m. If we could get a few folks to increase the number of people voting absentee, that'll help us out a bit. We would appreciate it, but again, that decision is yours. And I think, let me do this. We will be reinstating the pre-kindergarten program last year. So we paused that this year, and now we're going to be gearing that back up. So if you know of or have a pre-kindergarten age student, please call the district office, and again, go to extension 264 for that. And we'll get you on the list for having your child screened. It's very important that if you have a child that would be in pre-kindergarten next year, that you get the child registered so we can screen the child and get our program established. Also, kindergarten screening. Please register for kindergarten screening, and that should also please call extension 264 for that. I think as I look over my notes, that covers it. Thank you very much. I don't see any questions.
Very good. Next order of business would be voting regulations. Voting regulations for Brookfield Central School budget vote scheduled for Tuesday, May 18th, 2021 are available upon request and are posted at the Brookfield Post Office and Brookfield General Store for review. Next order of business would be adjournment of the annual meeting. Resolved that the Board of Education adjourned to May 4th, 2021 budget hearing at what time is it?
7:35, Bernie.
Thank you. At 7:35 p.m. Until noon, Tuesday, May 18th, 2021, at which time the polls will be open for voting. Have a motion?
Make a motion.
Don made a motion. Second?
Second.
Don is seconded. Discussion? I just had one question for discussion. We went over the voting with the absentee ballot. Can we still vote here?
Yes.
And we still come in and do a ballot? And
Yep. If you don't vote absentee, you'll come in the same door as you used. Well, you may not. You'll still vote in the school somewhere.
okay. Good.
We're arguing about that location right now.
All right. Well, you got time to get it.
I'm outgunned though, Bernie.
Okay. With no further discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right. Now, next order of business call to order. The May 4th, 2021 regular meeting of the Board of Education is called to order at, let's say, 7:37. How's that? Okay, first order of business would be consent agenda. Resolve the Board of Education approve the consent agenda consisting of the approval of warrants, minutes as presented. Have a motion.
Make a motion.
Don made the motion, second.
Second.
Don is seconded. Discussion? No discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? So carried. Next, to be communication reports and announcements, in addition to amendments, and resolve the Board of Education approve the agenda for the May 4th, 2021 meeting as presented or amended. Have motion.
Make a motion.
Don made the motion, second.
Second.
Don seconded. Discussion, we do have executive session, is that correct?
That's correct.
And that is for personnel,
Personnel.
okay? Any further discussion? With no further discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Next is communications of board president, none. Communications of principal.
I have a couple of reminders on behalf of the senior class. For folks who ordered the half chicken barbecue, pickup for that will be May 15th, beginning at 12 o'clock in our bus circle. And the class will also be raffling off gift baskets, and they're available. The tickets are available Monday, May 10th through Friday, May 21st. The drawing for the baskets will be Monday, May 24th, and we'll take some pictures of the baskets and get the information out pretty quickly. The 4 baskets will raffle one is chocolate lovers, then coffee lovers, honey lovers, and then summer barbecue. That's it for me.
Thank you. Next is communications, our district clerk.
I have none.
Okay, thank you. Next is communications, our superintendent.
So Carrie, the chicken barbecue and the basket raffles, that's for the senior class, correct?
Correct.
Both those are senior class. So I think I will make this a little pitch for them. The senior class has not been able to do really any fundraisers whatsoever. And normally our senior class's biggest fundraiser is the auction that they have every September, and they weren't able to do that. So the treasury's pretty low. And we're looking at opportunities for the senior class to maybe not experience the senior trip that they normally do, but we're looking for some opportunities, and they're planning to do some things. But their treasury's pretty low. So I just wanted to say that, and I know everybody, including the seniors, appreciates the strong support that the community always comes out for our kids. Okay, enough on that. Unused emergency closing days. Carrie, did that letter go out yet or no?
It will go out with progress reports on Friday, next Friday.
Okay, so that letter is going to say, so we'll mention it a couple times, but right now, if things don't change and we have to close school for something, we intend on using our 2 unused snow days on Friday, May 28th and Friday, June 18th. Is that correct, Carrie?
That's correct.
Ah, got it. All right, so that is it for me. Everything else I have is executive session.
Okay, thank you. Any resident participation?
There's nothing there, Bernie.
Okay, old business, new business, okay. Approval of disposal of voting ballots. Resolve the Board of Education upon the recommendation of superintendent approves the disposal of the ballots used for the 2020-2021 Brookfield Central School bid budget and board vote. A motion?
Make a motion.
John made motion, second.
Second.
Don is seconded. Discussion? There's no discussion. We'll vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So carried. Next is resolved the Board of Education on the recommendation of superintendent approves the appointment of Cassie Head to the position of instructional substitute uncertified for the 2020-2021 school year. To have a motion?
Make a motion.
Don has made a motion, second. Don has seconded, discussion.
Cassie's a BCS graduate who is just wrapping up her 4-year degree in education. And we could use a good something.
Great. No further discussion. Vote, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? Okay. Resolve the Board of Education found recommendation superintendent approves the following persons as election inspections for the budget vote and the election on May 18, 2021. Karen Curtis, Greta Beckerman, Diane Toby, Doreen Corbin, Jennifer Wagner, Joan Manor, Lisa Farmer, Heidi Cowan, and substitutes Tiffany Lopez and Krista Smith. Chairman for the election is Sue Scully. To have a motion?
Make a motion.
Don made a motion, second. Don is seconded, discussion.
So I should mention that the social distancing rules and masking requirements and everything else that we've been living with in this pandemic will apply. So, and we've had a very good experience with all of our guests on campus this year, but we haven't had many guests, that's for sure. But when you come onto campus, it's required that you have a mask on at all times. And here we sit without masks, socially distanced. Unfortunately, I don't know that's going to be as easy to keep people socially distanced for this voting, so please wear your mask.
No further discussion. We'll vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? So carried. Next order of business, executive session. Resolve the Board of Education enter executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel. Have a motion?
Make a motion.
Don made a motion, second. Don seconded, discussion. No discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? And we'll call that 7:44. How's that?